Good morning. Welcome to the Finance Committee of Tuesday, June 3rd. It's 9:30 a.m. and let's start with introductions to my far left.
Bernie Norris for the administration and from the beaches.
Colleen Hampsey, Council Research.
Mary Stefopoulos, Office of General Counsel.
Will Lane in District 3.
Good morning, Terrence Freeman at large, Group 1.
Ron Salem, Group 2 at large.
Nick Howland at large, Group 3.
Good morning, Rory Diamond, District 13, also the beaches.
Randy White, District 12, just visiting.
Good morning, Rockmont Johnson, District 14, the West Side, just visiting.
Let me go to President White first for an announcement.
Thank you, Dr. Salem, and through the chair. I want to thank you first for allowing the Question Center to give a little presentation of kind of the state of the union out there, where they are and where they're going, and hopefully this will be remembered during finance, because there is some things we need to do out there. I won't get into that with the deferred maintenance and stuff, but thank you again for doing that. The other thing I wanted to announce, next Tuesday night at the council meeting, instead of running late, which we might run late because we got some things we've got to do with the UF and the other things you are aware of, we ended up not having a quorum yesterday, so it was really a workshop. So we're going to start the meeting at 4 o'clock, and hopefully, even if we have to bleed into late, because we got to get it done to keep UNF on track. So just for the ones that's here, and we'll have to announce that today so the public knows, but that meeting will start at 4 o'clock. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. Let me go to public comment first. After that, we have a presentation from the Equestrian Center, and then Dr. Johnson is here, and I told him we would do his bills first, and then we'll go to the front of the agenda. So let's give these speakers a minute and a half, please. Clara Sowers.
Good morning. My name is Clara Sowers. My address is on file. Thank you for listening. I am here to speak on 2025-0138. Gentlemen, the numbers don't add up. Like, they didn't add up for 0147. The statistics don't add up. This is a waste of time. This is a waste of our city resources, of your time, the time that we're paying for. Undocumented immigrants do not have Social Security numbers. They cannot obtain these services. And if you're going to attack children from getting services with public city funds, funds that I have benefited from, my family has benefited from the services, I don't understand where this is coming from. Children don't harm us. And 147 limited the criminalization of undocumented immigrants to 18 years old. You are now hindering children that have no rhyme or reason in this, no fault in this, and they are not harming us in any way, shape, or form. And their parents pay taxes because their parents pay rent. They pay taxes. They pay sales tax. They are contributing to this. There is no rhyme or reason other than senseless persecution.
Ms. Sowers, could you please provide your address? I don't think you did.
It is on file. I said that was the first thing I said. Thank you.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
It's okay.
Maria Garcia.
Hello, my name is Maria Garcia. My address is on file. I'm representing the Jacksonville Immigrant Rights Alliance. Good morning, council members. Bill 0138 claims to protect taxpayers, but in reality, it punishes children and working families, the very people who help build our city every day. We are talking about denying basic services to kids who've known no home but Jacksonville, to families where parents work our construction sites, clean our hotels, and harvest our food, jobs that keep our economy running. These are not strangers, they are our neighbors, and they contribute to our community. When we deny children medical care or shelter, we don't save money. We create bigger problems. Sick kids become emergency room cases. Families without housing end up in crises. And workers who can't access basic services can't keep contributing to our local economy. This is not just cruel, it is counterproductive. It hurts the children who will grow up to be Jacksonville's future workforce. It destabilizes families who are living on the edge, and it sends a terrible message about who we are as a city. We can do better than this. And just as another point, undocumented immigrants cannot access public housing. They can get prorated if they are a mixed status family, but it is going to be minus the assistance that the undocumented person would have. So please stop using that as an excuse. Stop fear-mongering and attacking our immigrant brothers and sisters. Some of you are descendants of immigrants that came to this city, and it's a shame to see you guys supporting this.
Thank you. Next is Tiffany Clark.
Good morning. My address is on file. I am Tiffany Clark with Parents Who Lead. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Not as eloquent as my sisters, so I have to read from a piece of paper. The restrictions on using city funds to serve unauthorized immigrants could jeopardize federal funding streams that prohibit such exclusions. In my opinion, federal grants for social services, housing, and community development will be at risk if federal authorities determine the ordinance conflicts with grant requirements. The economic impact could extend beyond direct city costs. Jacksonville's immigrant population, including those without documentation, contribute significantly to the local economy through labor force, participation in entrepreneurship, and consumer spending. The ordinance could trigger workforce shortages in these sectors if immigrant families relocate due to reduced services. Local businesses depend on immigrant labor, and they may face increased operating costs and reduced productivity. This proposes significant changes to the Jacksonville's operations by requiring mayoral reporting on federal grants, diversity policies, and unauthorized alien housing, while also amending contract provisions to prohibit city funds from serving unauthorized immigrants. The ordinance could create immediate administrative costs. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. And lastly is Trey Mills. I think Miss Mills, you're just here for questions, is that correct? I'm sorry, Trey.
That's all right.
And that's on
Item 12.
item 12.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Okay, let's move to our presentation on the Equestrian Center. Can y'all come forward and introduce yourselves? And are all three of you participating or just one?
We will all participate.
Okay.
Through the chair to the committee, Peggy Fuller, 3230 Loretto Road. I would like to thank you for having us here, and good morning. I'm here with a fellow board member, Jody Coxwell, our executive director, Tim Jones, assistant executive director, Candace Barnes, and we have one of our horse therapy clients with us, and also a special Olympian, Sebastian, and he is here with his grandmother, Lori Albritton. Thank you. We're here to talk to you about the Northeast Florida Equestrian Society and the Jacksonville Equestrian Center. We do respect your time, and we have provided you with a packet, so you can refer to that as we go, or if you have any questions later. The Jacksonville Equestrian Center opened in 2004, and it's now in its 21st year of operation. In 2014, the Northeast Florida Equestrian Society was awarded the management contract. We are a not-for-profit, all-volunteer board made up of equestrians, veterinarians, business owners, an attorney, Eric Smith, who is our past council president. And we have teachers, we have a rancher, and we have some other professionals, all with a passion for the Equestrian Center. And I would like to add that we receive no management fee. In your packet, you will see some of the challenges that we have faced from taking over the management of the Equestrian Center. We are still chipping away at these 400-plus items of deferred maintenance, as well as some of that we have encountered with an aging facility. We understand that there is legislation for maintenance and repairs in the works as we speak. We would like to work hand in hand with parks to get some of the more pressing issues completed and giving priority to some of the issues that we consider safety issues, flooding, etc. As you can see that we have many accomplishments. We are most proud of our therapeutic and adaptive riding and driving program that we have up and running. Our horse therapy program not only serves a population in need, but it is also a major step in helping us complete the master plan for the Tyee Brown Regional Park. Other highlights that we have been able to complete are adding more RV hookups. We have taken over the food and beverage operation, and we have recently added a director of development and strategic partnerships through private funding to ramp up our fundraising efforts. I would like to introduce Tim Jones, our executive director. Thank you.
Through the chair to the committee, thank you again for allowing us to speak today. I'm just going to give you a quick rundown on my part to go over the facilities. We have the complete list in your packet, but our main facilities are the indoor arena, covered arena. We've got outside rings and 4 barns that gives us 406 stalls for the various events. Also, the new livestock barn is part of the fair project is scheduled to begin construction this fall. We can host just about any kind of horse show, and we have team roping, reining, barrel shows, rodeos, dressage, and many others each season. Most of the horse shows are free for the public to attend. Our largest horse show is the Florida Classic Reining event, which occurs in February each year and brings in over 500 horses for nearly 2 weeks. Other events include 2 RV shows. We have 6 concerts, 6 dog agility events, one of which is an international competition in November that has participants from over 6 different countries. In addition, we serve as a staging area for JEA when they're activated for hurricane response, as well as an evacuation site for horses and livestock when hurricanes approach other parts of the state. For this fiscal year, we have 65 events on the books, which translates to 126 show days and over 95,000 people that attend or participate. If there's no other questions, Peggy will introduce our next speaker.
Our next speaker is fellow board member Jody Coxwell.
Thank you, Dr. Peggy. We have a lot of problems here at Jacksonville Equestrian Center. Some are dangerous. We have lighting that has been there for 21 years. Part of this lighting is coming down. Part of it is not working. So when we have shows and horses there and they're in the dark, that's dangerous. Some of it I believe may be a fire hazard as well. We have some electrical problems in the barn. We have stalls with dirt in the floors that are not level. A lot of the dirt has been removed from either water or, the years of use. We also have a problem with gutters. Old leaks they're old, they're leaking. They are also causing the stalls to flood. We also have a full CIP list you can kind of look at as well in your packet. We also have a economic impact that is amazing for what we are working with. Right now, we are on target for our economical impact with the dogs and just the horses to be 6.75 million there. And then the dollars for the fiscal year, that is from 24 to 25. Our tax revenue, the JEC is bringing in $86,000. That's what we're on target to bring in this year. And then our sales tax last year brought into the city $78,200 for the fiscal year. Our return on the investment, we receive a subsidy of $393,000 last year. Or this year, I'm sorry, that is down from the $447,000 we received last year. The return on the investment with this city subsidy is 17-1. That is huge. I feel like that is a huge investment that we bring to Jacksonville. For every dollar the city spends in subsidy, you're getting $17 back. And that's just figuring the horse and the dog events. That's not talking about concerts or the RV show or the rodeos. We are also very excited to have the Jacksonville Fair coming. That means more agriculture. I love agriculture in this city. We should be wrapping our arms around the agriculture. That means more kids can show cattle. That means kids can show pigs. That means they can learn the business part of that agriculture. Thank you. As far as our horse therapies have been up and running since 2022. Since then, we've been able to help veterans, first responders, children, and adults of all backgrounds. With this program, we've been able to complete 2,000 lessons. That, to me, is amazing. That makes me want to cry. The program has been funded by grants, donations, and client fees. I'm a part of that program, and I donate to it. The equine therapy is increasing in popularity due to the extreme results in these kids' mental and physical health. That to me is just like, it's the best part of this program. This summer, we are also involved in a camp, and the field trip there is for children participating in the Kids Hope Alliance program. Thank you, Randy, for helping us make that connection. Because there we'll be able to serve children that may have never touched a horse, and they'll be able to touch a horse and see what goes on in the equine part of the world. More details are in your packet about some of the horse therapies. I would also like to introduce our horse therapy clients, the Special Olympics participant, Sebastian. He won a cool award this year, and his grandmother, Lori. So thank you very much for your time. I appreciate you. If you have any questions or if you'd like to come out to the facility, I'd love for you to come out and see our challenges. And thank you for what you do for the facility. I appreciate you.
Thank you for the presentation and coming. I took the tour of the Equestrian Center with Ms. Coxwell probably a month or so ago and came away with recognizing there's some significant needs out there. My plan is, colleagues, is you know, I've got an ordinance in the hopper which captures all the Doge money, and I've worked with Daryl from Parks, and I'll be introducing, along with I think President White, a bill that will begin to move forward with some money on some of those acute needs at the Equestrian Center. So hopefully we'll have that in place before long. Did you have something else you wanted to present? Please go ahead.
Hi, I'm Lori Albritton, and this is my grandson, Sebastian Englert. We've been going out to the Equestrian since 2023. And he could hardly get on the horse. Him and his brother could hardly get on the horse. And the horse therapy has improved them mental and physical stature. They use so much muscle, and it's just been amazing. Even their physicians have noticed how much strength they have endured and everything. And it helps they have just been amazing with them. And do you want to say anything?
The horses help my stress and make me happy.
Yeah, they have. I just cannot scream from the top of the mountain with how much they have helped with the horse therapy. They look forward to every lesson. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you all for coming. Well, I've got Mr. Diamond in the queue.
I'm just never going to miss an opportunity to shout out equine therapy. I'm sure Councilman Howland will agree with me, but I've seen remarkable things for veterans with really severe post-traumatic stress and kids who've undergone incredible trauma. And as much as I'm a dog guy, equine therapy is really spectacular also. So thanks for what y'all do.
Okay, thank you very much. Let me mention Vice President-elect Carrico has joined us. President-elect, do you have a bill you're here for, or are you here I think that's near the end then, so you're going to be watching quite a bit. Councilmember Freeman has just popped in.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and through the chair to Council President White, thank you for your support and advocacy for the West Side. I did hear you mentioned about opportunities for kids from various backgrounds having opportunities to touch a horse. I believe you've been trying to reach out to me, so I look forward to connecting. That is something near and dear to me. Sports is kind of one of my lanes in sports tourism, but also allowing kids to get outside the boundaries of their zip codes and experience things that can further enhance their development. And so I would love to know, with KHA, which groups, which schools, how they're partnering with, and then how I can be an advocate in my areas of contact to get more kids out there. So thank you so much.
President White.
Yes, sir. Thank you. And through the chair, I just want to thank you again for allowing them to present. And anybody who hasn't been out there, I would like them to go look. And we're not getting there. We're already past the deferred maintenance, and everybody knows where we got with the jail and we need to, there is some safety hazards, a bunch of them out there. But if you go out there and look, and hopefully in this coming budget, when you find some more money, we can put it towards a question center and fix the problems. Thank you.
It's my goal to even do it before the budget process, if we can be worked out. That's my plan. Dr. Johnson.
Thank you, Chair. I really wasn't going to say anything, but this obviously is so moving. I had a chance to go out and spend some time at the Equestrian Center, and I know it's the adjacent district to mine with the council president. And I want to say something else, that one of the things that we're hoping to do, and I've put it in my kind of priorities, is to work to build and strengthen what's going on at the Equestrian Center. But downtown, I also toured the police equestrian facility. I'm not sure if that's the right name, Mr. Chair, but one of the things I think that and I went out and compared both and doing some work with them that will be revealed, I hope soon. But one of the things that I also found is that not just children, but cancer patients as well. People would come out, and it was remarkable when you see people just walk up to a horse and touch it after chemotherapy. And everything, like the young man said, everything just changed for them. So I look forward to doing what we can to support it. I put on my good cowboy hat and boots, and I am now an avid rodeo fan. I can't wait to get to my next time out at the Equestrian Center. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
You're welcome. Thank you. Okay, I think we're ready to get into the agenda. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you very much.
We're going to turn to page 7, 2025, 325. It's one of Dr. Johnson's bills. I have a motion on the amendment. Second. We want to go to him first. Dr. Johnson, please.
After the research...
15, yes.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chair. After the research that was done, I would pray that someone on the committee would put a motion to withdraw this in. And afterward, I would like to, if possible, move to 340 and then amend 340 to add those funds back into 340 to go into the contingency.
I have a motion for withdrawal and a second. That's a verbal or ballot vote. Okay. No one on the queue. Please open the ballot, record the vote.
Six yeas, 0 nays.
By your votes, you have withdrawn 2025-325. Okay, now we're turning to page 13, item number 23, 2025-340. I have a motion and a second on the Neighborhoods Amendment. Mr. Peterson?
Through the chair of the committee, the Neighborhoods Amendment will strike the language allocating the funds specifically to council strategic initiatives, and rather just to put the funds into the council contingency for any use. Includes amendment to the 5-year IT plan to reflect the reduction for this grant application solution, and then attaches a revised Exhibit 1 to correct the account information.
Okay, all those in favor of the amendment, please indicate by saying aye. All those opposed, please say nay. Amendment passes. Dr. Johnson, you're asking for an amendment to move those $100,000 to this account?
Yes, sir.
Can I get one? I have a motion and a second on that amendment. I have no one in the... I'm sorry, Dr. Johnson.
Just a correction, not strategic initiatives, to the contingency fund.
Right. We removed the language of strategic.
Right. Just want to make sure that's clear. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
I have no one in the... You want to restate it, Mr. Lanin?
To the chair, I'm just trying to keep up with the neighborhoods amendment and where we're moving it to now instead.
Mr. Peterson, go ahead.
Yeah, through the chair of the committee. So what Councilmember Johnson is proposing is with the withdrawal of the prior legislation that now leaves $100,000 in this grant application solution project. So you would be increasing the $100,000 in this bill to $200,000 that will go into council contingency, and then we'll adjust the BT accordingly.
Move amendment to increase it to $200,000 to the council contingency.
And I have a second. Mr. Howland.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. To Mr. Peterson, so this moves it to the council contingency fund then, and the effect of this bill will be $200K to the contingency fund. What is the balance of that contingency fund?
Through the chair to Councilor Howland, there's about $218,000 in there now. I'm working with a council member already to allocate some funds out of there, but prior to this bill, there's $218,000 in our financial system.
Thank you.
Okay, all those in favor of the amendment, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, please say nay. Amendment passes. Yes, we can. I need a motion. I have a motion and a second on the bill as amended. Dr. Johnson.
I just wanted to say quickly, the reason, and right, there's 218, but most of it, I think a lot of it, through the chair, has been encumbered, or as you said, you're working with a council member, Mr. Peterson. So one of the reasons, thanks to former Council President Freeman, and moving those funds in there, we've got those funds available, but they're almost gone. And I know we had a 26% reduction in those strategic initiatives. So I just wanted, for me and our colleagues, to be able to hopefully fund those projects that are a part of our strategic initiatives or whatever they got going on. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Councilmember Lanin.
Thank you, Chair. Through the chair to Ms. Norris and the administration, just a reminder, I still have an outstanding request. I had asked if we could see if there are any other line items within 2023-807, which was the $25 million-ish of the mayoral task force money. I just want to see if there's other items like this that are still sitting there that have not been spent.
Did you want to comment?
I just want to say that we do have your request. I know Joe Interhees has been working on that, so that should be forthcoming.
Please open the ballot, record the vote.
Six yeas, 0 nays.
By your vote, you've approved 2025-340. Mr. Peterson, you're on my screen. Okay. Just want to make sure I'm not calling on the council auditor's office. Okay, let's go back to the top, please. Item number 1, 2024-627 is deferred. Item number 2, 2024-966 is deferred. Item number 3, 2024-993. I have a motion and a second on withdrawal. No one in the queue, please open the ballot, record the vote.
6 yeas, 0 nays.
By your vote, you've withdrawn 2024-993. Item number 4, 2025-11 is deferred. Item number 5, 2025-138. There are 2 rules amendments. If you turn your page, they're outlined there. I was told we need to take them up individually.
Mr. Chair, what you can do is you can take them up individually, and I believe Councilmember Diamond will have an additional amendment that he would like to offer, in which case at the end, if you want to roll them all into one finance amendment, we can do that.
Well, let's take them up one at a time. If you turn to page 3, Rules Amendment number 1, that's the motion and second. Okay. Mr. Diamond, are you discussion on that? Okay. All those, Mr. Freeman. Oh, I'm sorry, please. I apologize. Mr. Peterson.
Through the chair of the committee, Rules Amendment number 1 is to provide an exception for Shands Jacksonville Medical Center. I know yesterday the wording was UF related to indigent care, but our agreement is actually with Shands Jacksonville. They've got a number of entities, so just wanted to make that correction, and then providing exception for services to labor and sex trafficking victims that might be receiving services, and then also provide a 1-year exemption for the KHA element of this bill.
Mr. Freeman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and through the chair of auditors, thank you so much for explaining that. And the spirit behind that, one was trying to stay in line with the spirit of the bill's sponsor, but it was brought to our attention in the conversation that if anyone arrives at Shands with a medical issue, by law they would have to treat them. So essentially, we wanted to ensure that in our attempts to keep our city safe, we were not putting medical professionals in a position where they would be violation of our local law and helping someone. So that was the spirit behind that. I do want to thank, through the chair, to Councilman Diamond, proposing the 1 year for kids. It kind of gives us a little more time to process all of that. So I just wanted to put that out there. And then the sex trafficking was something that even Councilman Diamond said that he was shocked he missed it, and I am too, because he normally catches everything and dots all the I's and crosses all the T's. But I think it makes this bill stronger, makes it better. And again, I appreciate him putting this forward.
President White.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Dr. Slavin, through the chair. Just to maybe a question to the attorneys, the 3 bullets, I agree. I'm thinking of a 4th one that we should talk about. We might ought to put in there that anything that would create a HEPA law violation, which is a federal offense, they couldn't report on that anyway, and I don't know if we need to put that in there or not.
Yeah, I'd say, Councilmember Diamond.
Through the chair to President White, we couldn't do anything to supersede HIPAA anyways. And so if it gives you comfort, we can add it. There's no harm saying, and we won't ask anybody to violate HIPAA. I mean, that's fine with me.
No, I'm just don't know if it gives us more protection with these registered things. And it don't matter to me. It's just threw it out there.
Yeah, I'm trying to think where if you.
I mean, anything medical, you can't give information on anything that's medical. It's probably covered in 1, 2, or 3. I just threw it out there in case you wanted to talk about it.
I just can't see where HIPAA information would come up in a restriction on funds. In my mind,
I'm good with that.
Before Tuesday, we could think about it if there's any implication for HIPAA and make sure we can catch it.
Thank you.
Through the chair, just to add to that, there's nothing about the legislation that requires a reporting on individuals' medical information. So we're not asking to gather that information. We're asking for reporting on other aspects, but not on medical services.
Mr. Diamond, you're in the queue on the bill. Okay. All those in favor of Rules Amendment number 1, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, please say nay. Amendment number 1 passes. I have a motion and second on Rules Amendment number 2. Mr. Peterson.
Through the chair of the committee, Rules Amendment 2 is just inserting the word knowingly so that a recipient of cultural service grant funds shall be prohibited from knowingly using any city funds to provide services to unauthorized aliens.
Okay. I have no one in the queue. All those in favor of Rules Amendment number 2, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, please say nay. Rules Amendment number 2 passes.
Mr. Chair, while Mr. Diamond is, he's distracted at the moment, his intent was to offer an amendment in line with Rules Amendment number 2 to add the word knowingly to all other instances where we're referencing the use of city funds, and Mr. Diamond, I believe, is now available to address that.
Okay. Motion and a second on using the word knowingly. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. All those opposed, please say nay. Motion passes. Okay. That was your amendment that you wanted to. Okay. Let's roll them all into one amendment. I have a motion and a second on the bill as amended. Mr. Diamond?
I'll be quick, Mr. Chair, because frankly, I think we've got more than 10 votes to pass this, so we'll head on to Tuesday, and this will become the law for the city of Jacksonville. I did want to address it briefly because people are listening to this, and I know the message is going out in Jacksonville that this bill is moving. So it was filed about 2 months ago. People have had plenty of time to read it, to ask OGC questions and all the rest. So hopefully those questions have been answered. But I do want to make sure that the proper frame is out there, because I feel like the council is being unfairly attacked, saying, hey, this is mean, this is cruel, we're targeting. No, we did not create this situation. The federal government, by opening the border, created this situation, not just for Jacksonville, but for every city and state in the country. Some hit more than others. And so this bill is a response to a very uncomfortable position that bad federal policy put us in. That's what made it a local issue for us to deal with. So that's one issue. Two, we have to do this, otherwise we send out the message that Jacksonville is a sanctuary city, right? And that's as cruel as anything else, because the message that you can just come to Jacksonville or any place in America and just get stuff for free is going to entice people to put themselves and their families in a bad spot. And that's why we're here today, because we sent the wrong message, because we did not follow federal law. The amendments are all passed, so I think we've taken some of the unintended consequences out of the bill. Candidly, I did not think about a sex trafficked person being here in the country illegally. Happy to make sure that they get assistance. That's not their fault. Glad we fixed that. Appreciate my friend, Councilman Freeman, cleaning up the bill so that we get that piece done. But at the end of the day, the people of Jacksonville voted for this policy because they did not like what they were seeing, not just here in Jacksonville, but across the country. And so I'm excited to see this pass, because it sends a message that this is not what we want in Jacksonville. Thank you.
Mr. Lanen.
Thank you, Chair, and I'll be supporting this, but one idea for another possible amendment to Councilmember Diamond. You require, I think it's 3 separate reports. I was wondering if I could fit in one I've long requested for, because I think they're going to have to go through this as part of this, but just total nonprofit spend, period. And I think this would be what the first or the current budget would be. So my amendment for discussion right now would be also a report of all fiscal year 24-25 nonprofit spend contained within the budget.
I have a motion and a second on the Lanen amendment. Does everyone understand it? Okay. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, please say nay. Please. Do we need a new motion? We have a motion and a second on the bill as amended. I wanted to make a quick comment. This issue reminds me of the issue we have with our homeless population. When I've gone out with the JFRD team, one of the first questions we ask them is, are you from Jacksonville or are you from somewhere else? And we're able, through that process, if they're from somewhere else and they want to go home and they don't have an ID, we can take them over to the tax collector's office, get them ID. And I see Sherry Hall waving out there because she was there when I went over. And get them an ID if they are a citizen or have some legal status, and then we can put them on a bus and get them home. Personally, I have no issue with taking care of the homeless population that's from Jacksonville. I want to help our own. And I think in this situation, I think the citizens want our tax dollars to go towards the citizens. And it just makes complete sense to me. So with that, Mr. Howland?
I wanted to similarly comment. It's always interesting to me when new, more restrictive immigration laws are criticized for cruelty. You often hear the progressive side of our country idolize certain countries like Scandinavian countries. And what's interesting is all of them have more severe immigration penalties, including detain and deport. And they do that for various reasons, not to be cruel, but to make sure that the interests of their own citizens and their own lawful immigrants are taken into consideration, to make sure that there's a cancer treatment for one of their citizens or their lawful immigrants needs that cancer treatment, that there is a hospital bed for one of their citizens or their lawful immigrants when they need that hospital bed, that there's a desk in a classroom for one of their citizens or lawful immigrants when they need that desk in a classroom. It doesn't mean that they're being cruel. It just means that they're doing what they can to make sure their own citizens' needs are taken care of and the needs of lawful immigrants in their countries are taken care of. All that said, what is common in many of those countries with more severe immigration laws is that they ensure indigent, emergency, and urgent care of anyone in their country is taken care of. And so that's why I really do admire Councilman Freeman's amendment yesterday, which does make this law more consistent with those and more palatable, and I'll be supporting it today. Thank you.
Councilmember Freeman.
Thank you, and I was going to hold back, and then you hit on a good point. One, I want to thank those that came up to speak today. Their voices were definitely heard, and you can hear their passion. But there's a saying up here, and you're going to hear it again next budget cycle, and I've heard it every year, that budgets are all about priorities. Well, today, what you're hearing in this discussion is that this body is no different, and our priority are our citizens. And I believe that that's what this bill is showing. We can be sympathetic to the concerns that were raised, that folks brought to us. But as I shared yesterday, as long as they're babies that have been born in Jacksonville, or families have been raised here, they're going to bed hungry. They're facing challenges every day. I'm going to turn to face them first before I start thinking of some other things. So with that being said, I look forward to supporting this, and I want to thank the bill sponsor for putting it forward.
Please open the ballot, record the vote.
Five yeas, 0 nays.
By your vote, you've approved 2025-138 as amended. Turning to page 3, item number 6 is 2025-188 is deferred. On page 4, item number 7, 2025-285 is deferred. Item number 8, 2025-291 is deferred. Item number 9, 2025-304. I have a motion and a second on the amendment. Mr. Peterson.
Through the chair of the committee, the amendment attaches a revised Exhibit 1, which is the term sheet to reflect the use of funds for ability housing will be subject to Chapter 118, Parts 1, 2, 4, and 5, and then also clarifies the required supporting documentation that will be needed for them to receive their disbursement request, and then it removes the budget amendment that was originally included in the legislation.
All those in favor of the amendment, please indicate by saying aye. All those opposed, please say nay. Amendment passes. Have a motion and a second on the bill as amended. Please open the ballot, record the vote.
Six yeas, 0 nays.
By your vote, you've approved 2025-304. Moving on to page 5, item number 10, 2025-317. Have a motion and a second on the bill. Please open the ballot, record the vote.
6 yeas, 0 nays.
By your vote, you've approved 2025-317. Moving on to item number 11, 2025-318. A motion and a second on the bill. Please open the ballot, record the vote.
6 yeas, 0 nays.
By your vote, you've approved 2025-318. Moving on to page 6, 2025-320. Have a motion and a second on the bill. Please open the ballot, record the vote.
6 yeas, 0 nays.
By your vote, you've approved 2025-320. Moving on to item number 13, 2025-322. Have a motion and a second on the Neighborhoods Amendment. Mr. Peterson?
Through the chair, the Neighborhoods Amendment includes a CIP amendment to reflect the reduction in the Mandarin Park Renovate ADA restrooms project.
All those in favor of the Neighborhoods Amendment, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, please say nay. Amendment passes. I have a motion and a second on the bill as amended. Please open the ballot, record the vote.
6 yeas, 0 nays.
By your vote, you've approved 2025-322. Turning to page 7, 2025-323. I have a motion and a second on the bill. Mr. Peterson, would you explain this since this is the first time we've seen it?
Through the chair to the committee, this is the engagement of our independent auditor on a new 3-year contract, Carr, Riggs & Ingram. You'll recall that it went through a scoring process by 3 members of the Finance Committee, and they were the selected firm. Our office worked out an agreement, which is attached to this legislation, for them to move forward for the 25, 26, and 27 fiscal year audits.
I have no one in the queue. Please open the ballot, record the vote.
6 yeas, 0 nays.
By your vote, you've approved 2025-323. We've already done item 15. Item number 16, 2025-326. Have a motion and a second on the bill. No one in the queue. Open the ballot. Record the vote.
Six yeas, 0 nays.
By your vote, you've approved 2025-326. Thank you, Chief Ayub, for attending. Item number 17, 2025-327. Have a motion and a second on the bill. No one in the queue. Please open the ballot. Record the vote.
Six yeas, 0 nays.
By your vote, you've approved 2025-327. Moving to page 9, item 18, 2025-328. Have a motion and a second on the amendment. Mr. Peterson.
Through the chair of the committee, the amendment will reflect that the tax collector will be the oversight agency for this new lease build-out, and then we'll also attach a revised lease agreement to clarify that the work that is being performed is being paid for by the tax collector, and then there's various scrivener's errors.
All those in favor of the amendment, please indicate by saying aye. All those opposed, please say nay. Amendment passes. Ms. Hall, would you briefly just describe what's going on here?
Thank you. Yes, I'd be happy to. Sherry Hall with the Tax Collector's Office. So this bill does many things. First of all, we're saving a little over $3 million over the course of this 10-year lease on our lease costs. We are consolidating 2 of our branches. We're consolidating Hogan and Kernan into this new location. The new location is less than 5 miles, less than 4 miles in one case and a little over 4 miles in another from both of those existing locations. We have issues at both of those locations with various things. One's in desperate need of remodeling. Another, we have significant parking issues. So not the least of which is that we do have that significant lease savings by relocating to a less expensive location. And of course, we'll see efficiencies with that consolidation. The new location is on a bus route. We're also able to offer road tests, so it has all of the things that we need to serve the community in that area.
Councilmember Langdon.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to say, since this does involve a closure of a tax collector office in my district, I fully support it. It's going from kind of the middle to the western boundary that I share with Mr. Carrico, and it's also saving $3 million over the course of 10 years, so I fully support this.
Okay, I need a motion. Okay, I have a motion second on the bill as amended. Please open the ballot, record the vote.
6 yeas, 0 nays.
By your vote, you've approved 2025-328. Thank you, Ms. Hall, for attending.
Thank you.
Moving on to page 10, item number 19, 2025-329. I have a motion and a second on the bill. Mr. Cicero, can you come forward and just give us a brief explanation of this?
Good morning. Yeah, this is the annual bond issue ordinance. It's very similar to last year, except it does include the $150 million allocation for the stadium financing, which was in the this year's budget. But basically, we are reimbursing the actual project spending for the year and basically replenishing the funds.
Mr. Langdon.
Thank you, Chair, and obviously I'll be voting yes on this. It's really a product of prior decisions made. I just want to point out there the $375 million, if anyone looked at the debt affordability study that came out last week, I mean, that is a significant increase over anything we've done the past couple of years. And so the managed debt portion of the CIP, that's one of the 4 things I keep on mentioning as far as if we really wanted to get to a millage rate reduction, how would we make sure fees are balanced, look out for downtown cash incentives, manage that portion of the CIP and our overall nonprofit strategy. So just want to point out that going forward, 2/3 of our budget each year is public safety and committed debt expense. And really your committed debt expense, you can't really change much each year. It's a product of prior approvals of our managed debt portion of the capital plan. So I'll continue to point that out, especially as we get into the budget, an area where we should really focus on. And I appreciate the work the DOJ Committee has done, because that's a big part of the work, looking at projects that had leftover money in that we can then reallocate elsewhere or prevent taking debt out on. Thank you.
I should mention we will have a presentation on the debt affordability study at the next meeting. Mr. Howland.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Lanin stole the first half of what I was going to say. Really, we're only issuing debt to fund what we've approved in the CIP. So in that case, I'll support this as well. But I do have a second question. It relates to the second waiver on the agenda, waiving 104.211. Do we do that on every single bond issuance? And what is the reason that you would prefer the bonds be sold to institutional investors in a private market rather than go to public market?
What we plan to do in this particular deal is it's on a negotiated basis. I mean, that historically, the city has primarily issued bonds through a negotiated basis for this type of bond issue for the special revenue bonds. There have been some private placement bonds more related to the like the Better Jacksonville plan, like different liens that are like smaller chunks of debt that need to be refinanced, and it's more efficient and economical on that.
Do you get better terms in the public market?
The terms are, we have a process that takes place, and we do have a financial advisor that's in the market basically every day, and they ensure that we get the proper pricing.
Okay. Auditors have any concerns over that particular waiver?
Through the chair to Councilmember Howland, no, sir. That is pretty standard to what the city has done for the last 10 to 15 years. I'm speaking with the prior CFO. We would get better rates on a negotiated basis than the unsurety of what going out to the public would result in. So I know that has been a practice for multiple administrations.
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right.
Mr. Cicero, can you tell me what is the general interest rate we're getting on these dollars now?
Yeah, well, it depends on the actual day of pricing, which will be in early August. But currently, the rates, when we issue these bonds, it's you're basically issuing a bond for like years 1 through 30. So you have individual bonds for the entire 30-year period, and those interest rates would range from roughly 3% up to almost 5%. And then when you kind of average all that together, it's around like a 4.75 right now. So, which is higher. Like last year's deal was closer to 4, and now their interest rates, the long end has come up some over the past 6 months, and so we're in around that 4.75 range, all in.
Okay, thank you. The bill's been moved. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Lane has jumped back on.
Thank you, Chair. Through the chair to Mr. Cicero, really another thing on rates, as it applies to the general fund, we talked about this last week. I believe that we're expecting still to get 3 to 4% as our interest earnings on the general fund going into next year. Is that correct?
Yes, in that 3 to 4. Yeah, we're currently around that 4% plus range, and depending on the interest, if the interest rates do get cut over the next few months, or the next 6 to 12 months, our interest rates could come down a little bit over the next year.
Through the chair, thank you, Mr. Cicero. Thanks for all the great work your group's doing. And to the committee, the reason I asked that question is I just want to point out that we budget based on that. Last year, our budget on the revenue side, we had $30 million of budgeted expected interest and other earnings. So that's why I'm such a proponent of having a large general fund balance, because it's almost free additional revenue as well that we're collecting each month. So as the general fund balance goes lower, we're reducing the amount of monthly interest we're getting. That, again, is about as risk-free income that we can get for the city. So, again, bigger general fund, we get more revenue that we plan for, and the lower it goes, we just lose that funding source. And it's a big chunk of money. Like I said, $30 million was what we budgeted for and expected interest earnings for this year. Thank you.
Okay, the bill's been moved and seconded. Please open the ballot, record the vote. Thank you, Mr. Cicero.
Thank you.
Oh, we can't see it. I didn't get it. Okay, I got it. Everybody get that?
Yeah.
Have you get? Did you get all 5?
5 yeas, 0 nays.
There you go. By your vote, you've approved 2025-329. Turning to page 11, 2025-330. I have a motion to second on the amendment. Mr. Peterson?
Through the chair of the committee, the amendment will clarify the use of funds will be used for part-time salaries, purchase of a vehicle, other equipment, and supplies, and then correcting language reflecting the authorization of part-time hours, not positions being created, and there are various scriveners.
All those in favor of the amendment, please indicate by saying aye. All those opposed, please say nay. Amendment passes. I have a motion and a second on the bill as amended. Mr. Howland.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Peterson, I know you did a little work on the balance on this. What will be left in the Environmental Protection Trust Fund after this 450 is appropriated?
Through the chair to Councilmember Howland, it'll leave a balance of about $315,000 in the trust fund.
Very good, thank you. And if anyone's concerned about the language in there, disadvantaged communities, that wasn't a creation of the EPB or the EQD. That is a federal phrase that they use from the EPA in this particular instance. And I know that the EQD plans to focus on air quality monitoring in Health Zone 1. I think that's at least 60% of it by the funding rules. So thanks.
Councilmember Freeman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and through the chair to Mr. Richardson. As I stated yesterday, no need to come, but look forward to meeting. We can meet offline if that's best, and just get a better understanding of the 60% outside of that area of Health Zone 1 that have risen to the level that you all will be able to service them. Thank you.
We've moved the bill as amended, correct? Yes, sir. Please open the ballot, record the vote.
5 yeas, 0 nays.
By your vote, you've approved 2025-330. Moving on to page 12, item 21, 2025-337. Have a motion and a second on the amendment. Mr. Peterson?
Through the chair of the committee, the amendment will revise the appropriation language to include the account names as required by ordinance code. To clarify, the CIP amendment also removes the out-year funding of $335,000 from the Hodges Boulevard project. Attach revised CIP sheets to correct the funding, something that was missed, and then various scriveners.
All those in favor of the amendment, please indicate by saying aye. All those opposed, like sign. Amendment passes. I have a motion and a second on the bill as amended. Mr. Lanen?
Thank you, Chair. Through the committee, a lot of you heard me talk about this yesterday, but essentially this was exactly my only project in the CIP for this year. Originally budgeted for $500,000. Once the design engineering got into it, unfortunately ballooned up to closer to $3 million. Working with Public Works, I had a project that came in under recently as well. So this is just shifting money around between a project that came under in District 3 and a project that now requires more money. It's already an approved CIP project, just needs additional spend to start it and finish. And it's for two intersection improvements on Hodges Boulevard, which is one of the most congested streets right now, according to the city's own traffic counts for both the city as well as by far in District 3.
Please open the ballot, record the vote.
Six yeas, 0 nays.
By your vote, you've approved 2025-337. If you turn to page 13, item number 22, 2025-338. Have a motion and a second on the bill. No one in the queue. Please open the ballot, record the vote.
6 yeas, 0 nays.
By your vote, you've approved 2025-338. Thank you, gentlemen. We had a whole team. Yes, please. Same here. Sure. All of us. That's it. We love the sheriff's office. Okay, we've already dealt with item number 23. Item number 24, 2025-361 is deferred. Item number 25, 2025-362. Move it. Have a motion and a second on the bill. 25. Who's representing the zoo? Can y'all come forward? This was in neighborhoods. Frankly, I voted yes for this bill accidentally. I meant to vote against it, and I asked for the Mr. Peterson, would you just give us a review here, of this bill before they speak?
Sure, through the chair of the committee. So in this year's budget, a commitment was made to the zoo of a $20 million capital improvement contribution strung out over 5 years, so $4 billion per year included in the CIP. The zoo is requesting that the final 3 years of that 5-year commitment be moved up to the current year, so $12 million. And in the same token, the way that the reimbursement has worked is the zoo will go out and spend X dollars, and the city will reimburse them up to 50% of that amount to the maximum amount that's appropriated by council. This $12 million will be treated as an advance, whereby the city will pay invoices for work performed at the zoo, and the zoo will show that they have spent that money on a quarterly basis until they've shown that they've spent $24 million on the project. So rather than doing the spending on the front end, the city's funds will be used on the front end, and then the zoo will report on a quarterly basis up until they have met that full $24 million spend.
Before we go to questions, let's get some comments from the zoo people. If y'all would introduce yourselves, please.
Sure. Dr. Jeff Etling, President and CEO.
Carrie Stewart, Vice Chair, Jacksonville Zoo and Gardens Board. Just wanted to explain a little bit very quickly of how we got here. I think there were a couple of questions in neighborhoods yesterday. One was, how did we get here? And the second was, how much of the project for the manatee and the new entrance is complete? Two handouts that you have. One of them is the project overview and funding shortfall. It gives you just a brief history of how we got here. Zoo's master plan was approved in June of 2017. At that point, the board and the then staff of the zoo went to that administration and asked for a commitment of matching dollars for the entire master plan. So at that point, it was $5 million for 5 years, matching dollar for dollar between the zoo and the city. After that, we asked for funding, as Philip has just said, for the next 5 years for $4 million a year for the same arrangement. The zoo matches dollar for dollar. This is for the entire master plan. And so it's not just the zoo new entryway and the Manatee River. It's for all of the capital programs that we have mapped out going forward. But we're here today to talk about the actual manatee exhibit and the new entrance. That is what has caused us to be here today. There's a cash flow constraint problem. So the new master plan was approved in June 2017. The initial project for the manatee exhibit was estimated at $30 million. Pre-bid construction costs escalated to $44 million. This is in 2021. In October 2023, Danis, who is our GC, presented a GMP for back of the house only. This wasn't some front of the house improvements of $46.5 million. Back of the house is critical. This is where all the manatee life systems are. This is what makes the exhibit the exhibit. The front of the house is the nice to have, the work where we're going to have convention space, visitor space, event space, restaurants, those types of things. So in February 2024, the front of the house cost estimate came in between $15 million and $25 million. That range is very wide, but because we were trying to value engineer it, they gave us a range of options for very scaled back to deluxe event space for the community. So full board approved in February of 2024 the front of the house option number 2, which was the board felt like it was a compromise between a Taj Mahal and something that the city would not be pleased with upon completion. So that was the $18.5 million, bringing the total cost of the project to $70.5 million. You can see on the sheet that, again, where we are. The other sheet, the handout that we gave you, is the funding analysis specifically for this project, not for the entire master plan. We are still spending capital on other capital items at the zoo. But as you can see, the project is 68% complete. We plan to cut the ribbon in December of this year. If you've been out to the zoo lately, you will see that it looks like it's more than 68% complete, but it is moving fast. And so we find ourselves here today asking from a cash flow perspective, we need that money to come into this year so that we can complete this particular project in our master plan. And our commitment to the city is to continue to match all of those dollars and to provide that on a quarterly basis of invoices on money that we spent on not only the manatee exhibit, but all of the other capital improvements that we're making at the zoo related to the zoo's master plan.
Mr. Lanin.
Thank you, Chair. A number of thoughts and concerns here. First of all, I'm a huge supporter of the zoo. We've been members with certainly since we had kids, and I'm 44, and I've been going to the zoo for 44 years. But a couple concerns here. First of all, I can't speak for my other colleagues, but I didn't really know anything about this until I saw it on the agenda, and I called Mr. Peterson, and then I called one person associated with it. But I feel like there's a lot to this. We just talked about managed debt, right, and what the rates are. Just by moving $12 million forward, that's a significant increase in cost there. Also, my concern is that we move this $12 million forward, we're just going to add $12 million of other stuff in the CIP as we swap things out. I guess, one question, what would a deferral do to this if that's the will of the committee as far as getting 2 weeks to sit down with you and talk about it, just kind of go over all the numbers here? Because, again, that's the first time I've seen a handout with a total of $70 million on it. So I think I need more understanding before I can vote on this today. Otherwise, it would probably be a no right now with adding $12 million more essentially to this year's debt for me.
Was the question to us?
Yeah.
Okay. We can certainly wait 2 weeks and spend some time with this body.
Yeah, that same issue came up in neighborhoods in terms of people understanding the plan, and let's defer it for 2 weeks.
Mr. Chair, if you want, the president is here, so I anticipate he would not see the need to discharge it and allow it to remain in committee, just if you wanted to get confirmation on the record.
Are you comfortable with that, Mr. President? He's nodding his head. Okay, why don't we do that? And I would suggest you set up individual meetings with all the Finance Committee members. Mr. Howland, I was coming back to you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And while we consider that, thank you, I think that's the appropriate approach. Gives us a little bit more time. We are 2 months from the city auditors and the city council putting together the city budget. So one concern I'd like you to address is why now? Why can't this wait until September? And if it can't because there's significant monetary reasons, how did we get to that point? I've known for 3 months in my nonprofit that I'm running out of cash on September 21st, right? And so I have a pretty good runway in my cash flow projections. So why did we get to this point is a concern to me as well. So hopefully we can address that. Normally, Southern is one of the best at giving us a heads up on something before it even comes close to being an issue. So I'm really surprised that this is just coming up now. So I would like to have that addressed over the next 2 weeks if we could. Thank you.
Councilmember Freeman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And hearing my colleagues, I definitely respect and understand their willingness to want to defer. However, I'm fully supportive of this. We all know that zoos are major attractions to cities. I'm one that every city I go and visit their zoo. And many of you are aware that our zoo is one of, in my opinion, and I think they would support it, one of our top zoos in the country. The reason why I'm a little challenged here, and I agree and understand where everybody's at, but I look at when we choose to move something up a list of priorities, we will have committee of the whole meetings, and we will talk, and we did it with the Jaguar Stadium. We're doing it currently now with a land swap. And all of our questions that we're asking now are valid for even those scenarios. And so, picking and choosing winners and losers are something that my personality type, I'm an ESTJ, I have trouble with. I like a lot of structure, right? I like guardrails. So I would have been comfortable moving forward because the zoo, they've been great actors and great partners with our city with an amazing board, and so I fully trust them. But again, as I said last meeting, when Councilman Lanin speaks, he's believable and we'll listen. But I really hope that with the deferral, we get to a point where we're treating the zoo the same way we're going to treat the land swap, in the same way we treated the Jaguars, and we just get the answers that we need so that we can make sure our zoo has what it needs to be, a tremendous city asset. Thank you.
A question I have to either one of you, do you have any kind of time frame where you think you would be able to raise the $12 million in order to match it?
I think part of this originally was to help fund the next phase of the master plan, which is education, which we want to move forward with, obviously. So we're going to continue, as Carrie noted, that we're going to continue our fundraising efforts through our philanthropy department at breakneck pace. We're not going to stop what we're doing just because this money gets front-loaded for us.
Would you be comfortable with an amendment that says you would not come back to the city for another tranche of funds until this match occurred?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Okay. I'd like that amendment added in eventually. Please. Okay. We'll defer it. Thank you.
Thank you.
No, we'll bring it up next time. Okay. Moving on to item number 26, 372, 373, 374, 375, 376, 377, 378 are all second reading. Item number 33 through 37 are all second readings, as well as 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44. Moving to item number 45, 2025, 392. Have a motion and a second on the bill. Mr. Randolph? I think you've got a good project here.
Good morning, Ed Randolph, OED. Yes, great project. We're excited to hopefully get approval today. Project Bluebird, most of us know it's Auto Aviation. It was a well-known, well-respected company with a great pedigree, of which is looking at various sites around the U.S. to start manufacturing a new passenger plane, quite a unique one. This project would entail $400 million of investment in the new hangar, facility, and manufacturing equipment. It would move forward, if it moved forward in Jacksonville at Cecil, it would include the hiring of over 1,200 new employees with an average wage of $90,000 over the next 15 years. That equates to, would equate to $36 million of new wages into the market on an annual basis. If Auto chooses Jacksonville, it would realize we'd realize so many other ancillary benefits than just the company's investment. With a project of this magnitude, it is our opinion that we hope to see the attraction of various other suppliers and widget makers from the aviation industry that would need to be nearby to serve the company's needs. And this is similar to what you've seen in Tennessee, South Carolina, Alabama in the way of the automobile industry, as to where once you get a project such as this established, you truly need a village of other widget makers close by to help serve their needs, of which will attract hopefully other aviation-related entities for the years to come. So we truly think this would be a catalyst project. And with that, today we're asking for approval for a 20-year REV grant for this project. It would be capped at $20 million. And that's based on an estimated $150 million of new manufacturing equipment at their Cecil facility if they choose Cecil. The overall ROI is 1.24 to 1, and at this point, the state of Florida is also contemplating some other grants to offer the company, and they will be disclosing those soon. But at this point, they are looking to hopefully get approval of their REV grant today, and hopefully we end up winning the project. So with that, happy to take any questions.
Would appear to be a great project. I love the REV grant portion of it, and what a great ROI. So let me go to Mr. Howland.
Mr. Chair, I wholeheartedly agree. $400 million in capital investment, 1,200 jobs is a great win for the city. Mr. Randolph, thank you for bringing this. And I also want to thank Jacksonville Aviation Authority for putting skin in the game. They're putting north of $30 million in incentives to bring Project Bluebird Auto Aviation here, including rent abatement on the airstrip lease and a hangar lease, and outright cash grants. So I want to commend them for putting skin in the game and investing in our community. Creating aerospace and defense manufacturing jobs, I think, is critical to moving Jacksonville forward and continuing our growth. And I do want to applaud the Chamber. I want to applaud OED, and I want to applaud JAA for making this happen. This deal will benefit Jacksonville families, industry, and our community as a whole. Thank you, sir.
Councilmember Lanin.
Thank you, Chair. To Mr. Randolph, I don't think I'm saying anything new. I mean, this is a great incentive package. This is the type we need to do more of. It's rev only with a positive ROI, and it creates jobs and brings a lot of private investments. So it can be done without cash completion grants. So just congratulations to you and your team. And really the same comments for item 46. I won't speak on that one again, but just appreciate all the hard work your team does to find us these incentive packages that make great sense for our taxpayers as well.
Councilmember Freeman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and through the chair to Councilman Howland. Thank you. It's very exciting to hear you praising the airport. So you've been pretty tough on them at times. So, so that's really good to hear. Through the chair to Mr. Randolph. I know you're expecting this question from me, and my sister, Councilmember Pittman's not here, so I will definitely say that the JSEB engagement part here. And I just have two questions. One, I don't believe in mandates, but I love having aspirations and goals. I wasn't a part of these conversations, nor should I have been, but you were. What are their plans, their intentions that they've shared with you in ensuring that Jacksonville small businesses are able to participate in this?
Sure. Through the chair to Councilman Freeman, we will be working with them a little more closely as hopefully we win the project, but we have stressed the need to include both small businesses and JSEB businesses in Jacksonville. And as we get a better sense of what their needs are in the way of parts and other services, we'll be able to help connect them and work through that. But you're 100% correct. JSEBs and small businesses here locally are a major focal point of ours, and we'll be sure to working collaboratively with them if we win the project to ensure that they're of the same mindset.
Thank you. And then the next question is just something that I'm really passionate about when it comes to workforce. And that the JUMP legislation was enacted so that we could get ahead of the curve when companies like this are coming and really building capacity with training prior to them getting here so that when they're able and they're ready to hire, have you all had the discussions of what the entry-level type jobs will be? What is the capacity in our region, in Jacksonville specifically, and if we have not met those, I know numerous organizations that are willing and able to train. Can we start having that conversation now so that they're not strapped with saying we want to hire locally, but we don't have it, so we're going to have to import workers in?
Sure. Through the chair to Councilman Freeman, let me take a step back. And yes, the Chamber, the Airport Authority, and all the other folks on this, I mean, economic development's a team sport. And we're really we're one element of the overall team here. But with that, I mean, truly, the company, like many other companies, especially in the manufacturing space, choose Jacksonville because of our robust training programs through FSCJ and other institutions here that have those types of training programs, but also, our military folks that leave the military each year. Those are folks that really they're looking at hopefully employing after they leave the military. They're disciplined, drug free, and they do have those skill sets. So in addition to our local educational institutions that have programs, FSCJ specifically, but also some of the folks that reside here that had former military former military training in the aviation space. A collection of those two elements really piqued their interest, and that's why they really are interested in Jacksonville and the overall deep pool of labor based on those two reasons I just mentioned.
That is such a great response, and through the chair to Mr. Randolph, it would warm my heart if in your presentation those two things are added to it so that we don't have to ask those questions. I would love for that to be a part of our general conversation, our selling point when you're not selling to us, but when you're explaining to us, because then it helps the constituency that I go back to. As I wake up every day trying to help people, and my phone's ringing now, coming to the trade of being an electrician. And so thank you for the work, and thank you for your commitment in it. You've met with me many times, and I truly appreciate your heart for our city and service to it. Thank you.
Thank you.
President White.
Yes, sir, not a question, just a comment. I want, just for information, I was the airport liaison from September 5th, 2018 until just like a month ago. So there is 2 airports in District 12, and had been pretty busy this year, so I turned it over to Mr. Howland. Within 30 days, he's already got $30 million. So I want to thank you, and I should have did that a long time ago. Thank you.
Mr. Diamond.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have the unusual position of saying I'm excited to support this legislation. Look, I principally don't like taking taxpayer money out of taxpayers' pockets and putting it into a corporation's pocket. And the reason why I don't like doing that is because it's bad for taxpayers, in my opinion, but we're also picking and choosing between corporations. My exception to that has always been rev grants, which is not a rev grant. We're not taking taxpayer money and putting it in anybody's pocket, where it's essentially a targeted tax cut and typically requiring, as this one does, investment, which raises the quality and value of the land. And so we're essentially incentivizing somebody to invest for $0. Out of taxpayer money. So happy to support this one. Hopefully having a unanimous council is helpful instead of that typical 18-1. And so I'll vote for this one and the next one. And thank you for not asking for money on this.
Councilmember Howland.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you for those kind words, Mr. President. And Mr. Randolph said something which I think needs a little bit of expansion. FSCJ runs on Cecil Field within 100 yards of where Auto Aviation will set up its headquarters. A certificate school where they train airframe and propulsion aviation mechanics and also air traffic controllers, both FAA certified programs, both certificate programs, and both of those training programs have wait lists that are 2 times as long as the number of seats they could put in. So I've been having discussions with JAA and FSCJ for how we can expand those programs. Having Auto Aviation here, creating that cluster of aerospace and defense companies will only increase the need for those A&P aviation mechanics and those air traffic controllers, and we're in a unique position at Cecil Field to be able to build out that capacity and enhance what FSCJ already has. That'll be an ongoing discussion with the Airport Authority, and just wanted to bring that up. Thank you.
Okay. Please open the ballot. Record the vote.
6 yeas, 0 nays.
By your vote, you've approved 2025-392. Moving on to page 22, item 46, 2025-393. I have a motion and second on the amendment. Mr. Peterson, on the amendment.
Yes, sir. Through the chair to the committee, the amendment will attach a revised agreement to include a specific default that failure to create a minimum of 10 jobs will result in a termination of the REV grant. That's a qualification of our public investment policy. So just including that, and then clarifying that the improvements contemplated include the construction of a building and purchase of equipment.
All those Mr. Diamond on the amendment? On the bill. All those in favor of the amendment, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, please say nay. Amendment passes. I have a motion and a second on the bill as amended. Mr. Diamond.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Same thing. This does not take any money out of the public coffers and give it to anybody else. So this is purely rev grant, which is a targeted tax cut. Happy to support. Thanks.
From my standpoint, an ROI of 4.19, that's about as high as that I can remember ever seeing. And it's a 50% rev grant, not a 75 as well. Again, great job, you and your team and all those involved. I have no one else in the queue. Please open the ballot, record the vote.
Five yeas, 0 nays.
By your vote, you've approved 2025-393. Thank you, Mr. Randolph. I appreciate you being here and your team. All right, moving on to page 23, item number 47, 2025-395. I have a motion and second on the emergency. Mr. Peterson, can you explain the emergency?
Through the chair to the committee, the nature of the emergency is that it's been requested in order to make these proposed changes before the end of the council year.
Okay, all those in favor of the emergency, please indicate by saying aye. 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 All those opposed, please say nay. Emergency passes. I have a motion to second on the Neighborhoods Amendment. Vice President Carrico, would you like to jump in at this point?
Sure, I would. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for recognizing me. Thank you for letting me sit in on my favorite committee, the Finance Committee. All you guys are on fire today, especially Will Lane, and he must be auditioning for a seat back at the table next year. Very useful information. But yes, the emergency was covered. The amendment takes all the drama out of this bill, really. It was moved in neighborhoods and approved in rules. It takes out the approving of the CEO and the firing of the CEO ability from the council. I put it in there for a little accountability to go with the extra autonomy we're adding, but didn't want to leave it in there at risk of the bill not passing and all the work of the committee that was done this year. So I just want to thank the committee. Mr. Diamond was on that committee, and all the stakeholders, and Mr. Miller, Colonel Miller was here too.
and hopefully we can get this through in time for our new DIA CEO to be seated relatively soon. There's interviews happening next week, so we'd like to get this done so they don't have anything to worry about or fear in taking the new position. So timing is right. Thank you.
All those in favor of the amendment, please indicate by saying aye. All those opposed, please say nay. Amendment passes. Oh, I'm sorry, I have one nay. Okay. Can I get? I have a motion and a second on the bill as amended. As an emergency. Thank you. Mr. Diamond.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I was against the Neighborhoods Amendment. I thought it was fine the way it was written, so congratulations to my friend. I want to be as a co-sponsor. It's good legislation. Appreciate it.
No one else on the queue. Please open the ballot, record the vote.
Five yeas, 0 nays.
By your vote, you've approved 2025-395. I think that concludes our business for today. Oh, I sure can. Item number 48, 2025-402, 49, 403, 50, 404, 51, 405, 52, 407, 53, 409, and 54, 411 are all on second reading. I believe that concludes our business. No one else in the queue. We are adjourned.